In the unlikely event of a potato, watch carefully. Cars, cars, cars. Everywhere you see, look around the yard and you see cars. More of them than I need. So why would I be interested in taking on another one? That would be rather bonkers of me, wouldn't it? That'd be selfish. Why would I complain about the amount of cars in the yard that I wish I didn't have here and then go and get something else? Well, the answer is simple. That's better. I can see what I'm doing now. The yard is a place that isn't mine, but I'm paying for. I'm paying for my items, for my cars to be here. So it should be full of my belongings. But of course it isn't. There are a number of shared cars here. And although I am up to capacity, one thing I don't particularly want to do is turn down the offer of a free car because I've got somebody else's cars here. No, I have to find a way around it instead. One of my original clear out job is inside the lower lockup was all about being able to store 2 cars, which hasn't actually really benefited me so far, but that hasn't worked out as a particularly useful thing, unfortunately. But it's a space I've got here, it's a space I'm paying for, and if I can put other things into here so I've got space outside, then that's what I'm going to have to do. Time to make my mind up. 2 cars can go in here, but which ones? I mean, this one here, this here, dented Daisy. No, yeah, oh yeah, Daisy, it is Daisy. This just needs a few jobs doing on it for its MOT, but I'm not going to do them whilst it's stuck in the corner, am I? Oh, I think maybe the best car to go into this corner, safely tucked away, should be one of my own. Yeah, Nigel should go there, shouldn't it? I'm not going to be using Nigel for a while, so why not? Magic's going to stop me from doing any work on it. I've got decisions to make. Again, moving stuff around just eats into my work time an awful lot. Yeah, I mean, so much. Spend all day just moving things around just so you can put something somewhere else, so that something else isn't in the way. I don't know, go on about it. I'm not going to go on about it. I refuse to. Instead, I've taken the option of slightly changing my mind about what to do, and instead of putting this outside ready for work, it's going to stay in here ready for when I want to work on it. Partly because, well, the trouble is I couldn't get past that trailer. Now, I know I could have done. I could have just about squeezed through there. Didn't want to take any chances of nudging that or this. So next, I'm going to store another car in here that doesn't belong to me, plus my trailer that does. So at least I can feel like I've made some use of it. Not quite. Introducing Barrel, Project Barrel, and it is a project. because it needs a couple of things. But why, you may be asking, why has Alison been flung outside to make room for Beryl? Good question. Good question indeed. Beryl, like Alison, has the same issue of really needing to be inside due to the soft top always being ever so slightly prone to leaking a bit of water in. And MGF or TF lives inside. My car, Alison over there, can go and live in the bottom lockup. And that's where, of course, I discovered I'd been a little bit hasty yesterday in moving things around. You see, I wanted to make space for this car. I wanted to make space in such a way where it didn't even look like there was another car here. And I've managed that. But I need to put that down there. Next question. Does Alison have to go into the bottom lockup and not Beryl? Well, you see, my car works perfectly okay, and it can be just driven back and forth at my will. So it can go in there and then come back out when I want it back out. Beryl, different matter. Now you see, this car will drive forward in third and fourth gears, not second or first or fifth, and not reverse either, because it needs the cable replacing for the gearbox. See, third, fourth, won't go over that way, won't go over that way either. So it's going to stay in here until I acquire myself a cable. The cable that goes from the gear lever to the gearbox at the back end. Prone to going rusty and then not working. And I had to put it somewhere. Why Beryl then? Well, that will become obvious at some point in the future. What am I doing with this car? Just beyond the other side of these trees here are some houses. Houses are where people live. Being in close proximity to people, I like to try and get along with people, of course, not annoy them, say hello, and generally make myself known. And this pays off because people start to like you a bit more. They're more likely to help you out. And that's what's happened here. You see, a little while back, this chap who lives over there somewhere come through the gate and said hello. And I said hello as well. We had a conversation and he told me all about this MGTF that he owns. It just so happens that it's that one just there. And he said it had been stored at another house for quite a while, and now he needs to get it moved because he wants to use it or something. But the car was reluctant to start, even with a new battery. So I popped over there to have a look. Turned the key and it started. Strange that. Must be some sort of mechanical sympathy that some cars just sense with me around. Anyway, with that, then I tried to put it into gear and nothing happened. I can't see what I'm doing now. It became evident that the gear linkages or the gear linkage cables were stiff and didn't really want to move. Now, I found this out, and so I said I could try and get this dealt with as soon as possible, but there wasn't really any particular rush. And I have been rather busy for the past few weeks. Then suddenly yesterday, whilst I was doing a live stream, he turned up for a chat. Anyway, time for a lot more moving around of things now. Oh, I haven't finished my story. Thought so. You're not going to start, are you? What a lovely home for you. Anyway, I've got the feeling I've not quite got to the bottom of this story yet, and there is still quite a bit more to tell you. So let's do that. That is, what is Barrel, the MGTF, doing in the yard now? Well, I didn't really see any point in going ahead with this cable replacement until I checked out the subframes to make sure that they were all okay. So I popped around to this chap's house again to have a proper look, jacked it up, knocked everything with a screwdriver, and it's all brown but solid. And I was about to do the go ahead thingy and order the cable when this chap popped around and said, I've sold the house. I don't really want the car, to be honest. I'll never use it anyway. If you can collect it, I'll bring the paperwork around for you. So he's given it to me, basically. He's given it to me for showing an interest, I guess. And there we have it. Barrel, the MGTF 135 is mine. It just needs that cable and an MOT. And you know what? I just had a quick look for some paperwork, and there it is. Previous MOT passed without an advisory, and only 94 miles completed since that MOT. So I would suggest that there's not going to be a lot that's gone wrong. Time and time again I find myself thinking I'm very lucky when it comes to cars. I seem to be in the right time in the right place an awful lot. But then I'm also exceedingly unlucky when it comes to money. So how I've managed to get that so wrong, I really don't know. So that is the end of this video about a car called Barrel. And I don't suppose this car had a name before. Many people give cars names, many don't. Many people think it's a ridiculous thing to do, and I certainly used to do that. The only reason I do it these days is because it helps identify one car from another. This car, just like Neville, the Rover 45 that's a new arrival, will be going in for MOT with a couple of bits once I've sold something else to pay for those bits. Because my situation at the moment is one of needing to sell some bits so I can buy some bits, and there's no two ways around that. Without selling things, I can't buy things. I need to sell a car. So let's be honest here. Mrs. Doyle, buy it. Nigel, hire it. The Audi, buy it. If I don't sell Mrs. Doyle. And the other cars in the yard, please buy those as well, just so I've got somewhere to put other things that I might like to buy when I can afford to do. So, time for me to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being a subscriber. Thank you very much for being a channel member. Thank you ever so much for liking this video, because that's important, whereas unliking it is the work of evil. And a special big thank you to John for gifting the car, now called Barrel, to me. Bye.